a bone marrow transplant, and he said, I was stopped by some people here. It seems there's those big wigs. They call them big wigs. Big wigs. I don't know.
Okay, whatever that is. But
yes,
you know, everything. There's a lot that is going on around Oulanyah's death and all that. But you know, like along the week and ever since he died, everyone has come out to say, you are pretenders, you all haters. Now you're here trying to cry.
Yes.
And I think probably that they're paying for that right now.
Don't you believe it?
Yeah.
Because when you look at, you know, the moment actually before they announced him dead, so many people were saying, yeah, we cannot wait for you. Of course, it's the normal Ugandan who was saying that, but I'm very sure there is a particular member of parliament who actually right now is holding a big position, and it was a blessing in disguise for him now that Oulanyah is dead. I don't want to mention his name, but for me, in my heart of hearts, I feel like he's one of the people who are the happiest.
You know, you would actually be
I don't want to assume. That's the reason I did not mention their name, so nobody's going to come for me. Yeah.
That people will just figure out who that is.
What do you think it is? I mean, there's many, so who do you think it is? I'm not putting you on the spot. But here's the thing. You know, sometimes we say we are Africans, please do not believe in superstition. I think these things work.
Oh, it's probably a coincidence.
No, let me backtrack a little bit. You remember when the late Luanga, the former Archbishop of Kampala. You remember the time he passed on?
Yes.
And then the president was going to lay his breath.
Yeah.
And then the Ugandan flag was swayed away by wind. Like, people had all this, people were talking about all this, you know, funny things, assumptions and all. But sometimes, you know, when you sit back and you're like, but maybe actually these things are true. But because you see, when it comes to the dead, they are defenseless in that moment. They cannot come back. They cannot defend themselves. They cannot. Maybe that is the way.
Maybe we do not know. Maybe they're not defenseless at all.
And especially people who come from the north. Do you remember the story of Kanyamunyu? Do you remember it? You know, after killing Akena, you know, the people in the north were very, very unhappy.
And he got on his knees.
Exactly. They told him, you will come back. We are going to do our riches and you will bring yourself. And they thought they were lying.
Wow.
So yes, superstition. Sometimes just sit
But
back.
if you do believe it, it actually happens. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was true that they're being swept away because of what they did to him. Or it could be just a coincidence of just coming too
well,
much.
there is that too. But me, I'm hell-bent on the superstitious side today. Believing that, you know what, since the dead are defenseless, maybe this is their way of showing them, you know what, you are out here telling lies, but you know the truth, because maybe there is someone in there who actually knows what happened. Maybe even the person who did it. Because there's a person who commented on Twitter and said, what if Oulanyah actually, Oulanyah's dad was told the person who did that, but he cannot mention.
Why wouldn't he mention that right now?
Come on. You know, in Uganda, you can disappear in thin air, just like that. And immediately after the burial, you're carried away.
And for someone to come out and say something like that about someone who is as big as he was, I think what he's trying to do is let people find out. At least they have the idea. They're going to find out.
Yes, and the other thing is, why would he be lying? Especially someone who's fighting for their life. People always tell the truth in that moment when they're fighting for their life. But so I feel like probably Oulanyah told the father the truth, and like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, people from the north are blunt people. They say it as it is. If it were some of us who come from Fort Portal, the other end, they would be like, you'd be very scared of the repercussions of what could be done to you.
From where I come from,
right? You're not Tamchiga. Come on, guys. The other thing, this is a light moment, but we have Olive in studio.